What's up guys, it's Bench175 and I wanted to make a video giving some tips on how to open and use several different types of pocket knives. I have a few out in front of me and I'm just going to go from left to right, tell you what they are, like what kind of type of knife they are, and some tips on how to use them. This is a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. The model is SD Classic, and this type of knife is called the slip joint, which means use this little thumb or nail groove actually to open up the blade, and it actually has no lock, so if you push on the blade it just closes back down. So that's simple, and this is the most basic type of opening knife that you can get. Next up, I have a lockback knife. This one also has a nail groove. You open it up like that, but then this one does lock, so if I push up on the blade nothing happens. To close this, you're going to want to push on the lock bar. As you're holding that down, you move the blade slightly out of alignment. Okay, so that wasn't enough. As you saw, it snap back. Okay, now it didn't snap back open anymore. So at this point, you get your fingers out of the way and then use your hands to finish closing that up. Here's another lockback knife. Whenever you're closing these, you either want to close them pointed upward so that you're going against gravity, or if you're standing up and you're closing it, basically have this pointed down and control the knife blade. Because one time I had a lockback knife that had like a 4-inch blade and it was nice and loose at the hinge, and when I pressed this, the knife just like swung closed and it cut my index finger like all the way to the bone. So that's going to be my tip for these. This one in particular is really cool because you can use this little switch, pull down, open that up, get this blade out, change it to a new blade, close it up. This is a Kershaw Skyline that I've had for about 10 years I think, and this is a flipper knife. So let me show you from the beginning. You're gonna hold this at the pocket clip and on the handle, so not on the blade obviously. So with these fingers, the base of your thumb is gonna go against the handle, and then your finger's going to rest on here, and what you're going to do is you're going to push inward with a bit of pressure, so you're kind of loading up the power in your finger, and then you're going to flick your finger downward. And this knife has no spring, so it's totally counting on you to open it up. To unlock it, this is called the liner lock. So this metal liner in the blade or in the knife is sitting underneath the blade, so that's what's keeping it from closing. And to close it, you're going to want to pinch this between these fingers, like at the pivot. Use this finger, get the liner out of the way a little bit, close it a tiny bit, and then finish closing it with your hands. And actually the best way to open these is using gravity to help you out and a little wrist flick, and these will open up every time. The other way to use this is one-handed. You're going to use your thumb to push that liner out of the way, close it until this little piece touches your thumbnail, then get your fingers out of the way and finish closing it. So back when this knife came out, they didn't make the knife very easy to flick open, so this one takes a bit of like practice to get this to pop open. This is like a current generation Kershaw. This is a Kershaw Method. Nice $30 knife. And this one, you almost don't even have to try. You just push down and it'll flip right open. And again, this is a liner lock. This knife is pretty nice. This one and the Kershaw Atmos. They're both about 30 bucks on Amazon. This has a little bar across the blade, where generally some knives are called thumb stud opening, where you would use your thumb and flick it open. But on a lot of flipper knives, if they have them, they're not very effective, and this is going to be the best way to open it. It just feels kind of awkward using your thumb to pop it open. But some knives are made to be opened with a thumb stud, so that's how you're going to open those up. And they'll be missing the flipper tab. This is another flipper, so you can see I like flipper knives. Let me just open it first. So this is a It's a ZT0452CF. Nice name, right? This one is a frame lock. As you can see, there's no liner on this bottom side. It's actually the frame that is going underneath the knife blade. And so you're going to close it the same way. You're going to use your finger, get the blade past the lock, and at that point you're just using your two hands to close it up. And there's a secret to opening this knife in particular, because if you put any pressure on the lock when you're trying to open it, it's going to be basically impossible to open. So I've had people try and open this by holding it like this, and since they're actually holding it closed, locked, and they're trying to open it with the flipper, they just can't do it. So it has this little cutout where that's the highest point that you're going to want to be holding it. All your other fingers go below that point, so there's no pressure on the frame lock, and then at that point you can flick this open nice and quick. This is a SOG Terminus XR, which is actually the knife that I'm carrying the most right now. It has a thumb stud like I talked about before, so again, get a good grip on that left side, and then you can use your thumb to open it. But actually, my preferred way again is the flipper tab. So get only the base of your thumb on the handle. Don't touch this little thing over here, and then use gravity to help you out, and it's gonna open up every single time. And then the cool thing about this knife is it's really easy to use one-handed because the lock is right here and there is no liner or frame lock here. And so all you have to do is just pull those two tabs down, and let me show you how that works. So there's a crossbar, and this kind of lock was used on Benchmade, a lot of Benchmade knives, but the patent expired, so SOG is using their own version of it that they call XR. And so you pull this bar out of the way and then the knife can close. Otherwise, that bar is behind the blade and it will not close. Close it by just pulling these tabs and it'll drop down, and then you just let go of them. You can actually also open this one-handed. Open this by just using the lock, not even the flipper. So you're gonna pull the two tabs down and then flick it open, and then you can flick it back the other way, as long as you're holding it correctly. And that's gonna be a super easy one-handed knife. So that's actually why I've been carrying this a lot. Here I have a Benchmade Infidel. This is an a double action auto out the front. So that's where the blade is gonna come from. And you're going to use this switch, and it's going to look like this. And the key to opening this knife is actually to hold higher up on the handle. So I've had people hold it down here and then push up, and they're not getting it to open because they're not pushing the switch all the way forward. So another name for this knife is called a switchblade. So you're going to want to hold a little bit higher up on the handle, so your thumb is like bending down. That way you can push all the way up. So this one, of course, is super easy to use one-handed, but not legal in every single state. Last knife is another Kershaw. You can see there's no flipper. So how does it open? There's a push button right here. So this is another auto knife. Make sure you're holding on tight, just like all the other ones. And then you're going to use the tip of your thumb while you're holding on tight, and that's going to pop open. No liner lock on this one. Hold the button down with this left finger with nothing in the way of the blade. Then I can use my two hands to close the blade. Or if you trust yourself, push it down with your thumb and then close it down like that. Really nice little knife. This is a Kershaw Launch 11. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. And if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and share. and then I'll catch you guys next time.